So the first thing that we need to talk about that we didn't talk about yesterday is the quartiles. There are two quartiles. There is the first quartile and the third quartile. And basically the quartiles are the 25th and 75th percentile, which means 25% of the data is lower than the 25th percentile, and 75% of the data is lower than the third quartile. And we are just going to take the medians, and there is something else called the IQR, or interquartile range. The IQR is simply going to be the third quartile minus the first quartile. And that leads us to a formula that we have, which is talking about outliers. For an outlier, if you have Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR, if you have a number that is bigger than this, then that number is an outlier. Same thing if you do Q1 minus, on the bottom end, it may be a little bit easier for us to understand this when we have some data. And so first we're going to figure out how to get Q3 and Q1 and the outliers using our data. Alright, so I have all of these rows. There's actually 7 rows of 7. So I cross out this entire row and this entire row. And then I cross out this entire row and this entire row. And I cross out this entire row and this entire row. I don't even really want to cross them out, but here we see that my median is equal to 36 minutes. And I'm going to cross that out. Now what happens is I'm going to take the bottom half and start crossing things out. So the 5 and the 30 and the 10 and the 30 and the 15 and the 30, 15 and 30, 15 and 30, 20 and 30, 30, 20 and 30, 20 and 30, 20 and 30, 20 and 30. And so right here I'm with these two numbers. So my Q1 is equal to 22.5. I'm going to do the same thing on the top end. And I get the number in between 45 and 60. Q3 turns out to be 52.5. So if I do Q3 minus Q1, my IQR is equal to 30. So in order to find the outliers, if there are any, I'm going to do 22.5 minus 1.5 times the IQR, which was 30. And that gave me an answer of negative 22.5. Now it takes no one longer than negative 22.5 minutes to get ready. So I do 52.5 plus 1.5 to do the upper range, and I get the answer of 97.5. Now it doesn't take anyone longer than 97.5, so there are no outliers. If you do stat calc 1 and then you choose whatever list you're in, so mine happened to be in list 2 this time, yours could have been in list 1, and you scroll down, you will see the Q1, the median, and the Q3 to be the same thing we got here. So we're going to use our calculator in order to do this for Mr. Friedlieb's age. So go ahead and put the data for Mr. Friedlieb's age in the calculator. And when you do that, then go to Stat Calc, and you will find scroll down and you will find the following answers. The median is equal to 40. The Q1 is equal to 34.5. And Q3 is equal to 43.5. Which means the IQR is equal to 43.5 minus 34.5, which is equal to 9. So 34.5, I'll find the low end, minus 9 times, actually I'll do it the way that we had it before, 1.5 times 9 is equal to 21. So anyone who gets lower than 21 will be considered an outlier. Sorry about that. So the person who guessed that I was 10, the person who guessed that I was 17, and the person who I guessed 19 are all outliers. If I do 43.5 plus 1.5 times 9, that gives me an answer of 48. So whoever guessed that I was 49 or 50, those would also be outliers. So we had 3 on the low end and 2 on the high end for my outliers. Actually, I made a mistake here. This number was supposed to be 57, which means that there were no outliers over here. My apologies for that. Must have pushed in the wrong button. So the next thing is we're going to do a box plot with both of these. So in this particular case, where there are no outliers, here's how you make your box plot. So in the time it gets ready to school, we had a minimum of 5 minutes and a maximum of 90 minutes, and we had no outliers. So when I draw my box plot, pretty much we have, let's see, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So here's 5, and then it goes to 22.5, and that's where I'm going to make my Q1. And then it goes to 52.5. With 36 in the middle to be my median. And then it goes out towards, I should probably put another tick mark in there, out towards 90. So you put the minimum, Q1, the median, Q3, and the max, and that's how you get your box plot. And without outliers, you just have to do these 5 and make the box and have the 2 little arms at the end. For this problem, I forgot that there's also someone who guessed 20. There were actually 4 outliers. So in my box plot, I'm going to go from, I went from 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. My median's at 40. My Q3 is at 43.5. My maximum for this one is at 50. Q1 is at 34.5. So there's not a very big box. And then the highest on the low end that's not an outlier is 21. So I'm going to go right here to, so this particular point is 21. Now the other ones are going to be outliers. So I have an outlier at 20, I have an outlier at 19, I have an outlier at 17, and I have an outlier at 10. So these four get their own little tick marks on the box plot because they are outliers. And so you can see that this is a box plot with 4 outliers. Alright, go ahead and start working on your homework. Take a picture of your notes and send it to me, and I'll give you credit for doing the opener.